how I thought it would go. I thought Tank would land something upstairs, but Tank got the stoppage. Tank was beating his body down, landing those great body shots, landing some of the shots to the chest. He dropped in the second round. I knew once Tank dropped him, I knew it was just a matter of time. And some can make the argument, say, hey, well, Ryan Garcia, he didn't want any more, and he just decided not to get up. At the end of the day, Tank was just too much for Ryan Garcia. Now, we all know later on the excuse is going to come. They're going to discredit Tank. They're going to say, Tank weight drained him. You're going to hear blah, 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 especially from more than likely the Mexicans. They're going to make excuses, anything possible to discredit Tank. At the end of the day, Ryan Garcia, he agreed to it. He signed a contract, whether you like it or not. And to that sucker that was sitting up there, that sucker, you know who I'm talking about, that was sitting up there talking about he rooting for Ryan Garcia. Well, didn't happen. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Like I said, Ryan Garcia ran into a Tank tonight. And, at the end of the day, people gonna say, I promise you, all you gonna hear is, oh, well, Ryan Garcia fought nobody anyway. He wasn't that good. His resume was questionable. He got dropped by Luke Campbell. I promise you the excuses are gonna come because, once again, the wrong guy won tonight. The black guy won tonight. The light-skinned black dude won tonight. But at the end of the day, now we can have a long debate on whether Tank Davis is the face of boxing, but at the end of the day, he sells out rings. And, he's getting knockouts. Now, here's the thing. Now the demand is going to come. Okay, Tank, we've had enough of you, beating up these Hispanic and Mexican fighters. We want to see some brothers get a shot now. Now we want to see Tank versus Devin Haney. Now we want to see Tank versus Shakur Stevenson. Let me tell you right now, after what I saw, depending on what happens May the 20th, Tank got 2 super fights back-to-back ahead of him where he can make a lot of money. Okay? He got an opportunity where he can make a lot of money. I don't want to hear no excuses, like I said. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is real talk. Y'all PBC cats, y'all going to have to start making some fights, man. For real. I don't want to hear nothing about, these fights can't be made. I don't want to hear nothing about the other side of the street, the last house on the left. I don't want to hear nothing about the black trap house. I don't want to hear no more excuses. Fights can be made. And the public is going to demand that these fights get made. That's real talk. What up? And like I said before, I mess with Tank. You know what I'm saying? I met Tank before he became Tank Davis. Oh yeah, well, like I said, like I said, man, let's just keep it a buck. Fundora, he quit, and Ryan Garcia quit. Ryan Garcia didn't want no more. He didn't want no more. It was a late reaction. I do think Ryan Garcia could have got up. I think he could have continued, but he was scared he was gonna get slept, and he'd rather just say, you know what, I quit, than basically be a meme. So at the end of the day, mission accomplished by Tank. Like I said, great performance by Tank. And it was funny. It was some curiosity for this fight because people was calling me that don't usually call me, asking me about this fight because, people know I'm a boxing enthusiast. They don't know about the other stuff I do. So like I said before, in a couple of weeks, I got a fight to cover in Stockton. I'm going to make it a must to try to get an interview with Bob Arum to see how can we make certain fights happen. Like I said, you don't mean to tell me Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis or Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney or Tank versus any one of those two isn't a big fight? Like I said, I didn't had enough of Tank fighting these Mexicans. Hey, they didn't got their paydays, Tank. Give a brother a payday now, bro. Give a brother a payday, man. Do not do what Floyd did, man. At the end of the day, you the star. Look, win, lose, or draw. Like I said, Tank, he got a chance against anybody with that power. And that's why it's intriguing. I mean, just watching the fight, I had Tank well ahead. You could make an argument going into the 7th round. Tank was up maybe 6-1, maybe 5-2, but Tank was well ahead on the scorecards. And he did what he was supposed to do. He took care of business. Oh yeah, Ryan's ribs. I'm telling you right now. Probably at midnight when he take his first piss, he gonna be pissing blood, real bad. Because I said, Tank jabbing him and racking him to the ribs. I said, okay. I say he's setting up, he breaking him down. I think Tank was a little disappointed that he didn't get to put Ryan Garcia to sleep, but at the end of the day, he got the stoppage. Mission complete. Like I said, I know some of y'all gonna come in the comment section making excuses. Oh, Ryan Garcia got weight drained. This, that happened. He wasn't that good. He didn't. He was that good when the contract got signed. He was that good until the first bell rung. Don't come here with that stuff about that Tank ain't fought nobody. This is the fight that everybody built up. They made it look like this was the new fight of the century, which it wasn't. Most of us knew how this fight was gonna turn out. Didn't you hear me? Didn't anybody that was listening to me before this fight, how many times did I say Tank was gonna stop Ryan Garcia? I thought he was gonna brutally knock him out, but he got the stoppage. I told y'all this fight went exactly how I thought it would go, except Ryan Garcia didn't get slapped. I thought Ryan Garcia would at least make it to the 9th round, but he managed to go 7. Of course he quit, Justin. See, I don't want to go. I don't want to hear none of that Warrior stuff. I don't want to hear none of that Warrior stuff, because lately you've been seeing the Warriors quitting, because Fundora, he quit, and Ryan Garcia quit. We know Fundora quit. He didn't want no more of that. And Ryan Garcia didn't want no more. I think it got to the point when Ryan Garcia took that knee, he was like, I don't want to get embarrassed in front of my family. I don't want to become a meme. I'm going to just let, the referee count me out. And that's pretty much what happened. Oh, you said Ryan Garcia is a marshmallow. You saying he just stay puff marshmallow? Look, at the end of the day, I know Showtime, I know the announcers, they be banking on these fights like being intriguing. But at the end of the day, I already knew that Ryan Garcia had no chance. And if Ryan Garcia decides to go forward with a rematch, it's gonna be even worse. Appreciate the donate. It's gonna be even worse. Yeah, he didn't want it no more. I mean, we got to call it how we see it. He quit. He didn't want to fight anymore. And look, that's okay. He lived to fight another day. He quit. He didn't say no mas like Roberto Duran, but he quit. He gave up. He didn't want to fight anymore. But that's okay. It's better for him, to just surrender in that particular fight than, basically get put to sleep. Ryan Garcia got to the point like, I'm not finna let this dude make me no meme. You're not finna make me a highlight reel that people gonna see for years and years to come. No, I'm just gonna take a knee. I'm gonna take a knee. When I get count out, I'm just gonna say, hey, it hurt too bad. I just couldn't continue. I mean, I will respect him. I will respect him for that. But, I mean, let's just keep it a buck, man. He quit. There was nobody that believed with common sense, and I'm just keeping it a buck. There's nobody with common sense that believed Ryan Garcia was going to win that fight. All this stuff about speed kills and all that kind of stuff. Yes, at the end of the day, speed can kill you. But if you have timing, let's just say you see a car that's coming at 100 miles per hour. Well, if you jump out the way in time, you ain't going to get hit by that car, right? It comes down to timing. Ryan Garcia is reckless in exchanges. And I'm going to tell you right now, Tank had a chance to end that fight, I think, in the fifth round, when instead of him, I mean, Ryan Garcia was wide open for an overhand left that would have ended the fight, but Tank turned him and then he grabbed him. And I was just telling the person I was watching the fight with, I said, dang, I say Tank missed the opportunity to end that fight. Cause see, when you're fighting, like I said, this is why people tell you that fighting is mental. It's like being in a live action video game. You know what I'm saying? Or turn it into the Terminator. You got to focus. You got to see. You got to compute. You got to see spots that's wide open and stuff. And to me, Tank got good ring IQ. He got better ring IQ than what people give him credit for. You know, he doesn't have the best speech in the world like a lot of people. You know, I don't have the best vocabulary in the world. But at the end of the day, I know how to make my point. I mean, I could talk like the guys, but, you know, I like to keep stuff simple. But I am saying Tank has a very high ring IQ, and we just don't give the brother credit. And they did a good job of selling this fight because all the celebrities turned out for this fight. You know, I saw Dr. J. I don't never see Dr. J at no fights. If you get Julius Erving to come to a fight, then you done did something. You got the great Dr. J there. Of course, you know, you had Mark Wahlberg. You know, you had him, Mr. I threw rocks at black girls and called him the N-word. So, you know, you had him there. So it was a lot of celebrities there. Now, like I said, the problem is afterwards, as we gonna get the political games played. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to hear no more excuses. I don't want to hear no more excuses from Floyd. I don't want to hear no more stuff about, like, from Leonard Ellaby, from Floyd Mayweather, even Al Heyman, which Al Heyman don't say nothing. I don't want to hear this stuff about, I don't want to do business with Bob Arum. I don't want to do business with Eddie Hearn. I don't want to do business with Oscar De La Hoya, but you just did business. You just did business with Oscar De La Hoya. So I don't want to hear this stuff from Floyd Mayweather. I don't want to hear this stuff no more. I'm not going for this stuff. Now, like I said before, I am going to start asking tougher questions. As I said before, I'm not going to disrespect these people, but I am going to be a little bit more firm, asking more, asking more than basic questions about, well, what happens next? No. We want definitive dates. How soon can we get Tank versus Shakur Stevenson? How soon can we get Tank versus, Devin Haney? How soon can we get Tank versus Lomachenko? How can we get Tank versus those type of dudes? Teofimo Lopez, maybe even Josh Taylor, depending on if Josh Taylor continues to campaign at 140. There's a lot of fights. There's a lot of money out there. Hell, Tank could go up to 140 and beat up Jose Ramirez, in which I like Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez, that's my guy, but whew, that's going to be nasty. Oh, hey, Oscar De La Hoya, he did the same thing. I don't even want to get into Oscar De La Hoya. I'm gonna leave Oscar De La Hoya alone, man. So, I'm gonna leave the fishnet shirt man alone. But I mean, don't feel like you got slighted, Red Star Beats, because this is what they do in boxing. They sell you a mismatch. Tank versus Ryan Garcia was a mismatch. I got excited about the fight because I knew what was going to happen. I knew Tank was going to stop Ryan Garcia. Anybody that's been following my channel, anybody that heard me talk, and y'all know I don't never do prediction videos. Y'all know that I don't say who's going to win what fight, but I said I was so confident. I knew that Tank was going to stop Ryan Garcia. And y'all know, for the people that have been following my channel for years, y'all know Town Business do not do prediction videos. I may break down the fight, talk about how each fighter could win, but how many of y'all told me, how many of y'all that I told? When they was even talking about this fight 2 years ago, I said Tank is gonna knock Ryan Garcia out. Before Tank fought Leo Santa Cruz, I said Tank is going to viciously knock Leo Santa Cruz out. Viciously. And that's what he did. That's what he did. So it's no surprise. This didn't surprise me. But don't feel slighted, because at the end of the day, we knew who was gonna come out on top. And I do want to say to all you handkerchief heads that call yourself taking shots at Tank and saying you root for Ryan Garcia because you all of a sudden don't like Tank. And this is what I'm talking about. That dude, and you know who I'm talking about, that cornball, that black dude with little man complex. All of a sudden you used to love Tank. But what's really going on, you mad because you can't get back in. Because behind the scenes, you've been trying to get back in. So now you want to attack anybody that's continuing to get the cover fights because you on the outside looking in. But you did it to yourself. And at the same time, you was trying to take everybody down with you. So you mad that there's people out there still doing what you could have been doing, but people warned you. So now all of a sudden you didn't wage war on Al Haymon and the PBC. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to make this very clear. I have a lot of issues with Al Haymon and the PBC because I don't like how they've been moving, because I'm just tired of hearing these excuses and them carrying it on like children, saying business with this guy. I don't want to do business with that dude because, you know, this happened, that happened. At the end of the day, you doing the fans a disservice and you doing your fighters a disservice. It ain't about you no more. All this stuff about, oh, we not going to make another promotional company great. No. When you say ignorant stuff like that, no, you're holding back your fighter from becoming great. Fighters become great by fighting great fighters, other great fighters, good fighters, great fighters, excellent fighters, win, lose, or draw. So like I said before, I'm going to start holding these guys accountable. I'm going to start coming after these dudes. And I don't mean like, you know, Waco, Texas coming after these dudes. I'm just going to start calling them out, telling them to start making the best fights out there. But as you guys can see, another cap went down today. As you can see, once again, there was no announcement. There was no announcement. And I'm definitely going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that later on. But as you can see, it was cap. It was cap, which I told y'all it was cap. Well, why did they sign a contract then? Why did they sign a two-fight deal if Ryan wasn't ready? Because what if Ryan would have won? Then you would have been hearing, see, if Ryan would have won, you would have heard that Tank got exposed. He ain't as good as everybody say he is. Listen, Tank is as good as, my eye test tells me that Tank is a good fighter. My eye test tell me that Tank is a pound for pound fighter. My eye test tell me that Tank is in the pound for pound discussion, maybe top 5, because he's doing this to everybody. But at the end of the day, for Tank to become the number 1 fighter, he got to beat guys like Shakur. He got to beat Devin Haney. He got to beat those dudes. Probably what's going to happen with Tank, they gonna put Isaac Cruz in the ring with Tank for a rematch, and they gonna sell it based off the fight was semi-controversial, and Tank is gonna have both hands. He's gonna be healthy, and I'm gonna tell you right now, if Tank comes into that fight 95% without any, injuries to his hands, Isaac Cruz is gonna get knocked out too. And the thing with Isaac Cruz, he comes straight to you. He comes straight to you. So Tank is not going to have to stalk him. He's going to come straight to you. And Tank is going to knock him out. That's probably going to be the next fight, you guys. But at the end of the day, it is going to be pressure. It's going to be tremendous pressure on Tank, the PBC, to start making these fights. We don't want to see a Rolly Romero rematch, but like I said, I know Isaac Cruz is probably next. They may even consider Frank Martin. So, but the weight got to make sense and the money got to make sense. But that's what's going to happen. Isaac Cruz is in all likelihood next. And then, like I said, Tank is gonna beat him up. Tank is gonna beat Isaac Cruz up. And then after he beats Isaac Cruz up, like I said, then what is next? Frank Martin is too dangerous for Tank. I'm gonna be honest with you about Frank Martin. I ain't that sold on Frank Martin. I just think it's who he's fought because it's no guarantee that Frank Martin could beat the Keyshawn Davises, that he could beat those type of dudes. I just ain't that sold on Frank Martin yet. I got to see him a little bit more. I don't think Frank Martin is unbeatable. I don't think he is unbeatable at all. So I'm just keeping it. I mean, he could beat some of those dudes that I just named as well, but I think they could beat him too. So I don't think that Frank Martin is the end all be all. I don't think he's just, a dude that'll strike fear in somebody. You got to remember, it's the people that they didn't put in front of him. Because all that's going to happen is, well, we already know what happens when you try, and I'm just keeping it a buck. Keep in mind, Frank Martin is affiliated with the other side of the street. They call people out, they do their internet call outs, and then when you say, okay, well, call me on Monday, then all of a sudden, when you call their phone, you can't get them on the phone. Or when you text them, it's taking forever to return your text. So I done seen this pattern with dudes that's affiliated with the other side of the street. So I'm just not that sold on Frank Martin yet. I need to see him a few more times, but the eye test tells me he's solid, but I don't know for sure if he can beat all those dudes. But the only way we can find out is for these guys to start fighting each other. And I gotta admit, and this is just real talk. Al Bernstein said that everybody has Floyd Mayweather phobia, which is if they lose a fight, it's over. Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward phobia, where, those two dudes never lost a fight. So basically, well, if they lose a fight, it's over for them. And no, I don't see it that way. Because if everybody want to protect their O and all that kind of stuff, then we're not going to be able to say, well, you were one of the best in your era because you didn't try to fight another dude that was just as good as you or that could have gave you a real challenge. So that's the problem. Like I said, I'm going to keep it a buck. It's only one Floyd Mayweather. It's only one Andre Ward. There's never going to be another Floyd Mayweather. There's never going to be another Andre Ward. And we have to move on from that. And this is some of the damage that happened, with Floyd Mayweather. And I'm not bashing Floyd Mayweather, but this is the problem. Because Floyd predicated himself on talking about being undefeated. So now you got everybody trying to follow the footsteps of Floyd Mayweather. Well, I'll fight this dude, but I don't know about that dude. So now dudes don't want to challenge themselves anymore. At the end of the day, MMA fighters, they lose all the time. And they still come back. People still love them. At the end of the day, if you start having these dudes fighting each other, knocking each other off, having gauntlets, not official gauntlets, but just fighting each other. These promotional companies making fights and giving us the fights that we want to see. The fans will be entertained and money will be made. It's money to be made. Now, I don't know what the pay-per-view numbers are going to be with this fight, but it seemed to me that there was an interest in this fight based off the buzz that was created surrounding this fight. So that's all I'm saying, you guys. What happened with Spence and Crawford when That I don't even feel like talking about that, because at the end of the day, I'll just put it to you this way: it's been more fighting on social media than it has been in the ring. And at the end of the day, these guys got to look at each other. They got to look at themselves. They got to look at their family and be like, okay, we got to make the best fights out there for ourselves and our fans. At the end of the day, if Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence happen, I done said this before. If Errol Spence wins, so be it. It's not like I'm gonna lose sleep. It's not like I'm gonna lose sleep and I'm gonna have nightmares and I'm gonna be, you know, cussing up a storm and cursing the day Errol Spence was born. No, he just won the fight. Same thing with Terrence Crawford. I'm not gonna lose no sleep if Terrence Crawford win the fight. I'm gonna move on and wait for the rematch or see what happens with them dudes next. But to be honest with you, it's too many fighters out there that is undefeated, and we just don't know how good they are. And I think maybe we play a role in it too as media, where I think if they lose one fight, it's over for them. Now, I don't think it's over for Ryan Garcia. Now, if he go on a 3 or 4, you know, streak where he lose all his fights, then all of a sudden you got to question who Ryan Garcia is. But at the end of the day, was he a bit of a hype job? You might can make that argument, because like I said, I never thought he had a chance against Tank. I never thought he was gonna beat Tank. Never believed it. I already told you that there wasn't go be no announcement. Steven Espinosa already said that there wasn't gonna be no announcement. He said it wasn't gonna be an announcement on Saturday, and there ain't gonna be no June 17th fight. Listen, I keep telling you guys, do not be fooled by that stuff that Errol Spence be talking. Errol Spence be capping sometimes, and I'm not personally attacking Errol Spence. He trying to sell himself. Listen, don't nobody believe that Errol Spence is gonna take a year off and go directly into a fight with Terrence Crawford. Nobody believes that, except maybe some of his delusional fans. I think that would be an insult to Terrence Crawford. And you don't want Terrence Crawford to go in there already motivated than what he already is. By him saying, hey, I could just take a year off and go into a fight directly with you and beat you. One thing I can say about Terrence Crawford, he takes stuff personal. He really do. And you done seen how Terrence Crawford then responded to certain people. So he take that stuff personal. So in all likelihood, there's going to be a fight before Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. Like I said, if Errol Spence goes directly into a fight with Terrence Crawford, I would be surprised. But I don't see that happening. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. So I'm just letting you guys know I don't see that happening. I don't see him going directly into that fight. But anyway, appreciate you guys, listening and tapping in. Break down the fight later. Do these videos. We'll come back with more. I'm out.